Hello, INFJs. This is the INFJ Visionary with another broadcast. Today's topic is INFJ. What is it? What does it mean to be an INFJ? We've talked about a lot of different facets, and this is going to be a bit of an overview. So, INFJ, we've got the four functions. Everyone has four primary conscious functions and then four subconscious or unconscious functions. Our four functions are the introverted intuition, which is our primary way of dealing with reality, followed by the extroverted feeling component. After that, you have introverted thinking, and lastly, you have extroverted sensing. Now, each one of these cognitive functions is a lens or a tool that we use for dealing with everyday reality. Okay. And as I was, well, everything I say I've said before, so I've got to break my habit of saying that. But um, every single INFJ on the planet uses these cognitive functions, but that doesn't mean that we are the same person. We can be radically different. I have a good friend who is an INFJ, and she is different from me, but you can see a lot of similarities as well. For example, she would rather have her teeth pulled than go to a party, right? That's me too. I don't really find that kind of thing at all interesting. In fact, I always used to think people were faking. I thought they've got to be faking having a good time because I'm really not having a good time. I don't like this at all. Anyway, uh, introverted intuition is how we steer the ship, and it's our massive preference. And you really don't get much credit for using introverted intuition. It's like just the water you swim in. However, if you want to develop yourself as a person, you have those next two functions, actually next three really, but we'll get there. Um, so the best way to evolve as an INFJ is develop your extroverted feeling function, and after that, your introverted thinking function. So what does developing your extroverted feeling function look like? Well, maybe it means going to parties, right? It might mean that you're taking on some interaction with people that could be a little bit outside the scope of what you're getting paid for. Like maybe you've got a job and you obviously have to deal with the external world. And I do think actually for us INFJs, it's generally a good idea. I know when I made a big move when I about 15 years ago to another place, and prior to that, I'd always been basically going someplace and working for a living, and this was the first time where I wasn't faced with that. I was working at home, and I started to get quite weird, without having some external stimulation. I can tell you my partner definitely dialed in on it, and she eventually convinced me to set up my operation at a place that had some public access, and that has been very good for me. I don't need a lot of outside or external stimulation, but having none at all is going to mean that I'm just getting weird, and we don't need that. So, if you're talking about developing as a person, clearly this is one way to do it. Like I said, you get 0 points for developing your NI. Your NI is already incredibly strong. It's like these people at the gym that don't like to do leg day. So you look at their chest and their arms and they're all huge, and then you look down on the legs and they're spindly. This would be us, with the NI, our legs, our arms and chests are huge and our legs are spindly. So develop that extroverted feeling. I think it's good. Basically, just open yourself up to the idea that you would like to do more of that. And it might be as simple as instead of making your coffee at home, just get into the habit of going out to buy yourself a coffee and sitting in the cafe and drinking it. And this might mean that you have a few chance conversations with people. You really don't need a lot of exterior things going on, but you'll see that were you to engage in an activity like that, it would probably be beneficial for you. I don't have tons of ideas about how to expand the extroverted feeling. One of the things in the actual world, I have a lot of ideas about how to um, use your extroverted feeling in a more psychological and philosophical way, and I've talked about that somewhat in previous broadcasts, but this might be a good place to talk about that here. So, you need stimulation from external sources, and the extroverted feeling component is very much dialed into people. There are ways for you to um, engage that part of your cognitive stack, and one of the ways is to do like what I'm doing here. I am making a broadcast, and it's designed to talk to anybody that wants to hear me. Many of you don't care, some of you do, and that's really beside the point. I'm putting this out there. Now, the extroverted feeling is involved to the degree that I'm putting it out there, whereas the whole broadcast is basically being created through my NI since I don't have a script. It's all just coming in one big rush from the universe out of my mouth and to you. And it's quite interesting for me to listen to these broadcasts later and go, well, that's interesting. That's pretty good. Where I didn't, like I said, I didn't have a script. I didn't have an idea. Yeah. So this is one way of doing it. You could be working as a writer, or you could be um, working in a lot of different ways where you are kind of taking your NI inspirations and ideas and pushing them into the world in some way. That's important. I think that's important for us. You don't want to get into this situation where you're not actually engaged with the outside world. Now, you can, another way to sort of evolve yourself as a INFJ, of course, is to work on your introverted thinking as well. But I think we get less points for that because that is an introverted activity. So I could be absolutely incorrect about that because, frankly, when we start looping, it's our two introverted functions that loop, and they can loop endlessly, it seems like, and nothing really seems to stop it until you bring in an extroverted function. So let's talk about the last extroverted function we have, and probably definitely a way to advance yourself as an INFJ to improve as a person, I would say, and that is start engaging in maybe some exercise, hiking, taking walks in the woods. In my case, I have some dogs. I walk them. I have to walk them 3 times a day. I don't have to. I could just have done one walk, but it's good for me. I don't really get that far out into nature or anything, but I am involved with the world every day, out having a walk and out of my office here and just engaged with external reality to some degree. Um, that's just some of my thoughts. And one thing, talking about external reality, I had some insights here at the end of this video. It occurred to me like a lot of times people around me seem to know about a lot of stuff that I don't. I'd be interested, put it in the comments. I'd be interested to know if any of you experience this as well, where the word's just kind of getting around about something or someone, but I didn't notice it. I didn't notice it at all. I'm pretty much oblivious until somebody points it out to me. And this has been pretty consistent my whole life. And I think it is that weak extroverted sensing function, which is operative. Don't think it isn't. It's gathering data and information, but a lot of the data and information that it gathers isn't in the front of your mind. It's all feeding the background. So it does pick up on things, and lots of times we will be noticing things that other people don't. But for my part, I notice I'm walking around all day. I'm basically thinking about, I thought a little bit about what I'm going to do in this broadcast today. I think about the art I'm going to be making, or I think about the music I might be wanting to make, or I think about a book I'm reading, or I think about something else I'm studying. And this is what's occupying my mind, where it seems a lot of other people are way more plugged in and engaged. Anyway, that's it for this broadcast. I hope you got something from it. I hope you got a little bit of insight at least. And until I come back, hopefully in a day or so with another broadcast, just take good care of yourself, INFJ.